I'm Michael George in New Orleans as Hurricane Ida hammers this entire region with winds over 150 miles per hour. I'll have the latest on conditions on the ground and damage reports from across the area.
Plus, heading for safety. We'll tell you about one family that fled Hurricane Ida and is now facing an uncertain future. Also, to the rescue, the iconic SUPERTAM ice cream parlor and Superman Museum in Carterville is preparing to open under new ownership. And remembering a legend, we'll take a look back at the career of actor Ed Asner.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Ida roared ashore in Louisiana Sunday as a Category 4 hurricane carrying maximum sustained winds of about 150 miles an hour and stoking fears storm surge could bring massive flooding and damage to a wide swath of the Gulf. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest from New Orleans.
The extremely dangerous hurricane made landfall in Louisiana as one of the strongest storms in the state's history. As Ida continues to pick up strength, the storm's impact is being felt and feared throughout the Gulf.
Conditions are changing very rapidly, and obviously we have a very dangerous situation on our hands with Hurricane Ida.
FEMA says the coasts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida are in the life-threatening storm surge warning area. President Biden visited FEMA headquarters in Washington as the agency prepared emergency services, including food, water, power generators, and search and rescue teams.
This is going to be a devastating hurricane, a life-threatening storm.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell warned residents to stay put in a safe place.
Heed all warnings. Ensure that you shelter in place, you hunker down.
We're in New Orleans' famous French Quarter, just about 50 miles from where Hurricane Ida made landfall with 150 mile per hour winds. Where we are, the winds are getting more and more intense by the hour. We're already hearing reports of downed trees and roofs being ripped off. This tourist staying at a nearby hotel is worried about those who are less fortunate.
We've got plenty of snacks and water. I'm much more concerned with the homeless population here in New Orleans.
Gulf State residents were warned to either evacuate or beware that emergency services might not be available during the height of the storm. In its aftermath, utility companies say power outages could last for weeks. Michael George, CBS News, New Orleans.
Ida made landfall on the exact date Hurricane Katrina devastated a large part of the Gulf Coast 16 years ago. Thousands of people are crossing from the Gulf Coast region to the Mid-South, fleeing the devastating storm that Hurricane Ida promises to bring. We have the story of one of those families now staring at an uncertain future. Reporter Dakari Turner has that one.
Tucked into the very back of this gray SUV is enough food, clothing, and supplies to last a couple of days. Long enough for this family to ride out Hurricane Ida from the safety of their Memphis hotel, driving some 5 hours this morning from Hammond, Louisiana. And along for the ride is 10-year-old Harmony. Are you scared right now?
A little bit and nervous because I don't really like hurricanes.
There are 6 people inside this vehicle and hundreds of thousands more packed into others fleeing the Gulf Coast as Ida threatens to make landfall as one of the worst storms to hit that region in 150 years.
They said for everyone that was living in the mobile home to leave.
Choosing to heed those warnings is a different choice than Imelda Burton made in 2005. That year, she rode out Hurricane Katrina.
It's rough. It's rough, especially when the hurricane comes during the night.
A reality some, they know, will face now.
Not everybody left with you.
No, sir.
Are your friends still there?
Yes, sir.
As their engine revved and the family pulled away, we asked their thoughts on the days ahead. Though those days are filled with uncertainty, the answer, each of them said, is to look to their faith.
I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just prayed and just thought everything was going to be all right.
And with that begins another leg of this journey.
Nothing quite like what they saw in the Gulf, but we did see some rain across the area. Nick Kelly joins us.
Certainly, Chris. Quite scattered in nature are rain and thunderstorms for today. So scattered, in fact, we didn't have anything register at the Joplin Regional Airport rain bucket today, but it definitely rained in other parts of Joplin, taking us from 71 this morning and a high officially at 92. But once the rain worked in, we saw temperatures cool down quite a bit. Again, those that did manage to pick up the rain, a few this morning, but more scattered this afternoon. We're just waiting to see if we can get a few more isolated showers or storms to fire up on the Kansas side, all because primarily our front stalled out just to the north of the region. As long as that stays in place for tomorrow, we're going to try and do this all over again for our Monday as we head back to work and some of the kiddos head back to school. Let's keep things quiet overall during the overnight and start Monday morning out. Lows dropping off to 71. I do anticipate highs back in the upper 80s, maybe a few spots near 90 crisp, but once we hit the afternoon, we'll have some scattered thunderstorms popping up once again. We'll see if this trend holds for the rest of the week coming up here in a bit.
We certainly do need the rain, Nick. Thank you. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a boil advisory in Wilson County. KDHE says the advisory is for Wilson County Rural District number 11. The advisory is not related to COVID-19. KDHE says the advisory is in effect due to conditions that place the system at risk of bacterial contamination, specifically a pump failure resulting in loss of pressure. The advisory will remain in effect until the issue can be resolved. Well, back in May of this year, we told you that the SUPERTAM ice cream parlor and Superman Museum in Carterville was up for sale. Now, just a short time later, it's got new owners who are gearing up for its reopening. We spoke with the new owners about what their plans are and what the future holds for this Route 66 treasure. The SUPERTAM ice cream parlor and Superman Museum has a worldwide legacy in Carterville. When it came up for sale, Andrea Briley decided she needed to step in and preserve this legacy for the community and the world. She's a teacher in Carterville and knew the love kids and adults have for this longtime establishment, and she had a personal motivation for buying it as well.
I just kind of like Superman a lot, and I had been here and brought my kids here when they were younger and had really good conversations with Larry. But yeah, I wanted to open it back up for the community, for the kids, and then also for my own memories with my kids here.
Larry Tamminen ran the shop for years, establishing that worldwide presence, something Andrea and her husband Chris are anxious to tackle.
We know we have big shoes to fill, but we're hoping to do it justice.
On the day they closed on the purchase, Chris says they got some news that opened up just how big this little shop is.
Larry says, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, you're listed in the top 10 China attractions for the United States. And it's like,
Really? Wow. You know, and he's serious. This place is listed on the top 10 of attractions for tourists, for Chinese tourists.
Andrea says she's looking forward to continuing the legacy Larry left behind.
I'm looking forward to meeting people, to having that connection with other people who love Superman, who love Route 66, and to try to share the story of this place with other people.
When it comes to things people are familiar with, like the Superman memorabilia, that's all staying in place, as is the signature ice cream Larry brought in.
He has fans of certain flavors, and of course we've made sure those are on our list. We would like to carry on and then just keep going with it.
he built a legacy, and we're curators of his legacy, so to speak.
The Brileys say the amount of love and support that they've had from the community has been overwhelming, and as individuals and businesses have all welcomed them to Route 66. They're hoping to be open by September 16th. We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Private First Class Harold Redburn served in the Army as a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne in World War II. His hometown, Chanute. We're proud to recognize Private First Class Harold Redburn, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to view other heroes or to nominate one of your own, just head over to our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. Remembering a legend. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 10, we'll take a look back at the life and career of actor Ed Asner. Emmy-winning actor Ed Asner died this morning. The 91-year-old made his mark on American audiences in The Mary Tyler Moore Show and continued to have a thriving career into his golden years. Asner was also an outspoken activist for both political and personal causes. CBS's Omar Villafranca takes a look at his life and career.
Ed Asner got his big break playing the gruff but lovable television news boss Lou Grant on The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
You know what? You got spunk.
Well, yes.
I hate spunk.
Time magazine put the sitcom on its list of 17 shows that changed TV.
Baxter, will you knock it off?
Asner relished sparring with Ted Knight, who played the newscaster, and Gavin MacLeod as the head news writer.
Give me that list of words that Baxter mispronounced on last night's show. Chicago.
Their on-scene chemistry was the start of an enduring friendship.
They taught me to laugh. They taught me to release myself, to enjoy life.
When the Mary Tyler Moore Show ended, Asner reprised his role in the TV drama Lou Grant. The show won critical acclaim. Asner is the only actor to win the Emmy Award for both a sitcom and a drama in the same role. Asner was born in Kansas City in 1929. He was raised in an Orthodox Jewish household, but became an agnostic. After a brief stint in the Army Signal Corps, Asner moved to New York to pursue his acting career. He appeared in 4 Broadway productions, most recently in 2012's Grace.
Mind your own business and everything works out.
He was president of the Screen Actors Guild from 1981 to 1985, but was accused of politicizing the union.
They applauded me, but thought I was a fool for my politics.
Asner continued to perform well into his 80s. He voiced several animated movies, including the Pixar hit Up. He also toured the U.S. for several years, playing President Roosevelt in the play FDR. He called himself overweight, bald, and crippled from too many hip operations. But Asner said he always recognized his own talent.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Omar Villafranca, CBS News.
Asner was married twice and had 4 children. Later on the KOAM News at 10, we're going to take a look at the weekend box office.
But first, we'll have the latest on Hurricane Ida and if it plays a role in our forecast at all when we come back. For all those with interest down in Louisiana, I have the very latest on Ida, but we're going to start with how we fared back in our neck of the woods as we wrapped up this weekend today. We all started off on a quiet note. A couple of spots in our northern counties managed to pick up at least a few showers, but before we got the afternoon underway, then the focus was on scattered rain and a couple of thunderstorms, especially in our southern counties, including the afternoon rain that the Indigo Sky Casino Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri picked up on right before we hit sunset not too long ago. You can see how the frontal boundary parked just to the north was just enough to get a couple of showers or storms on the Kansas side going in our northern counties this morning. But again, the emphasis was for the rain chances today to be scattered, really hit and miss. And for many of you, it was more miss rather than hit. While some of us will try to pick up on some rain tomorrow, the bullseye in terms of the heaviest rain came along in south of I-44, especially in southwestern Missouri. No rain officially, remember from the almanac earlier, no rain officially at the Joplin Regional Airport, but the southeast side of Joplin picked up almost 3 inches, especially near 4 and 49 before you head south down to Bentonville, Rogers, and eventually Fort Smith. Other areas in southwestern Missouri, you can see 1.5 to almost 2.5 inches of rainfall. That area of rain completely fell apart as it was trying to work over Stockton Lake, but just within the past few hours, or ever since we got this evening underway, we've been seeing a couple showers, maybe a couple storms too, trying to get its act together out across parts of Elk, Greenwood, and Coffee County. We're going to hold on to that for maybe another hour or two, then that's going to be about it in terms of our rain chances for the rest of the night. In terms of where we sit right now, we are at 74. Feels no hotter thanks to dew points low enough not to give us a heat index. Everyone else is eventually falling through the upper 70s, lower 80s, and eventually we'll drop back to 71, while we still keep an eye on Ida, 500 miles to our south. But we have seen this continue to weaken as it works over land. Just like with all tropical systems, you take away the warm waters to feel it, it's going to weaken. That's exactly what Ida is doing at 105 miles per hour. Still strong enough to be a Category 2, but by tomorrow morning, before it heads toward Jackson, Mississippi, it'll weaken to a tropical storm. It'll continue northeastward, eventually working through central and northeastern Mississippi tomorrow night through Tuesday morning. Then it's no more, not even a tropical depression, but it will still cause some rain through the middle of the week in parts of the eastern seaboards and around the Appalachian Mountains. But around here, our main focus is the stationary front parked just to the north. It stays put for tomorrow, and so does the upper level setup. No big changes here. So as long as that jet's close to us, We're not going to see much in the way of a hot Monday, but another Monday where we'll certainly be warm and maybe some scattered storms return tomorrow afternoon. But I think everyone knows dry as we get Monday morning started with lows dropping back to 71. And you can see how we start the afternoon dry, but then here comes another scattering of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Nothing too strong or severe expected, very similar to today. 71 in the morning, 85 by noon, afternoon highs around 89 degrees. The rain chances tomorrow could again give us maybe another 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch with maybe some heavier pockets. We'll see if a little bit of rain can grace us by Tuesday, but once we get past Tuesday, there's our upper level ridge. It's not quite packing in terms of humidity, but once it starts to build back in, we'll have to head back into the 90s from Wednesday through the rest of the week. 89 tomorrow and Tuesday. The good thing about the humidity though, Chris, even though it stays low, we'll have overnight lows drop near 70, but it'll be a quick warm up each afternoon with highs between 92 and 94.
It's been nice to get this little respite here. I mean, I was in Joplin when the storm came through at our Joplin office. And
yeah, I bet you had a good downpour.
It did. It really came down, so I believe that 3 inches
good deal.
on there. Nick, thank you so much. Danny.
This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Crowder College product Aaron Ashby gets his first career win today with the Milwaukee Brewers. Ashby pitched 5 innings with 4 strikeouts to help the Brewers to a 6-2 victory. The Kansas City Royals have won 3 in a row against the Mariners. Today, they go for the series sweep. Picking it up in the 6th, Salvador Perez stays hot 5 consecutive games now with a home run. And this one here to tie the game. Trailing again though, Michael A. Taylor evens it up once more with his own solo shot. And then Kyle Seager for the Mariners goes deep with a runner on. A nice series for the Royals. They fall just short of the sweep. Seattle takes the final game 4-3. The Cardinals and Pirates wrap up a series today. No score in the 3rd until Tyler O'Neill hits one deep off the back wall for his first Major League triple. St. Louis up 1-0. Bottom half, Kevin Newman, line drive, and Harrison Bader. What a catch! Full extension to make the play. Later, Tommy Edman breaks a tie game with a 2-run blast to right center. And more outstanding defense here. Nolan Arenado makes a great snag. Now let's see that one again. He manages to get the throw to first from the ground. It's not a happy ending for the Cards though. The Pirates score 3 in the bottom of the 9th to come back and walk it off 4-3. That brings us to our one and only break in the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Still ahead, a look at the dramatic finish to the BMW Championship. The details next. Welcome back to the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. The Kansas City Chiefs host Cleveland for their season opener in exactly 2 weeks. Patrick Mahomes says the preseason prepped his team well to have success in Week 1 and beyond.
Obviously, coming off injury, you want to go out there and make sure everything's good. And I was able to do that. I was able to move around. I was able to do kind of the stuff that I've always been accustomed to doing. And then building that relationship, kind of like I talked about with the offensive line. I mean, in practice, you think you're building it and doing that stuff, but until you really try it out in a game situation where stuff's moving fast, there's crowds, it's loud. It's definitely good to get out there with the offensive line, kind of go through that adversity and have to find ways to kind of battle through.
The NFL's top 100 players list was fully released on Saturday. The rankings are voted on by the players themselves, and the Chiefs have 5 on this year's list. Patrick Mahomes secures the #1 spot for the first time in his career. Teammate Travis Kelce is not far behind, locking up the 5 spot. That makes him the highest-ranked tight end in the league. Tyreek Hill lands at 15, defensive tackle Chris Jones at 34, and safety Tyrann Mathieu at 58. The BMW Championship at Caves Valley wrapped up today. It's the second event in the FedEx Cup playoffs, and it came to a thrilling end. On the 18th, Patrick Cantlay and Bryson DeChambeau battling it out. Cantlay sinks a 20-foot birdie putt to tie it at under 27. Then DeChambeau, with a chance to win it here, misses his birdie putt. That will force a playoff, missing lots of crucial shots down the stretch, just like that one. The 6th playoff hole now, Cantlay makes birdie to take a 1-stroke lead, and DeChambeau just can't match it. Patrick Cantlay wins the BMW Championship, his third win of the season. We're back right after this.
The reigning box office champ lost the title this weekend to a scary new movie. David Daniel has the early estimates for the top 5 films.
What do you want?
Don't Breathe 2 made $2.8 million for a 5th place finish. $5 million put Jungle Cruise in 4th place and over $100 million domestic. Paw Patrol the movie landed in 3rd place, earning $6.6 million.
You mean to tell me that nobody snapped up those bad boys? Today's the day.
After 2 weekends on top, Free Guy fell to 2nd, racking up $13.6 million for a domestic total of $79 million.
One day, she just snaps.
Plenty of people said the name Candyman. The horror sequel scared up $22.4 million to spirit away the box office crown. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Having kids at home, I would have thought the scary movie was Paw Patrol, but obviously that was not the case. So.
Well, it might be scary in some ways.
It could be, I guess. It's scary to us adults.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. Kids love it. Danny, final check in sports.
Well, really exciting day for the Crowder alum, Aaron Ashby. He gets his first MLB career win today.
Way to go. Nick, final check of that forecast.
We'll do our best to stay in the upper 80s for tomorrow and Tuesday. We'll do that as long as rain chance to stay in the forecast, but once we get rid of the rain, the humidity doesn't quite come back, but we'll definitely be back in the 90s starting Wednesday.
Way to go. Guys, thank you so much. That's our time. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us part of your night.